Hello, I'm Barry Crabtree, your certified arborist, and we are introducing you to what we call rainscaping. It's a slightly more elaborate version of erosion control, and here on the East Coast in this year of 2013 we have tremendous rains, and because of the increased temperature of the air, there's more water vapor in the air, and when the rains come it's much heavier. And so what we have here is the installation of a greenhouse, and in the next few minutes I'm going to compress about 24 months worth of construction activity where the owner asked us to place this greenhouse in here for her. It is right at the foot of a mountain. It's not a mountain actually, it's just a big hill, 880 feet of elevation, where the water comes down through here. You can see where it laid the grass down, and it has begun to flood the greenhouse and wash silt up into the doors and along the back side here, and we're going to correct that with the air tool. You've seen us use the air tool for many of our tree protection actions, and you can see we started here with a trench off the hill, but it has proven to not be big enough or deep enough, wide enough to carry the volume of water coming off the hill. So we're going to divide it and make one trench out this way. We're going to widen this trench here and take it down the hill to where you see this hickory tree. Now this hickory tree has been treated before. We've done a root collar excavation, and what we have found is that when the erosion of wet topsoil is allowed to cover and smother the root collar of the tree, there's a wicking action where the moisture gets up under the bark and it sets up an infection. We're going to show you the results of that on another tree at the opposite end of the greenhouse, where there's been a number of months, days, maybe even years of erosion that has washed against this tree and has affected it as well. But we're going to micro inject this one. This has boring worms, as you can see here. The reason we know that it's boring worms is that we've taken a little probe, we've put it in here and run it up there, and we can feel the tunneling of the insect. There's another one here, there's another one here, and there's other ones on other parts of the tree, and this is an extremely valuable tree. We've already seen some of the erosion off the hill here, and if you have a tree like this, you're likely to have to excavate on a seasonal basis to keep everything nice and clean and clear, so that the tree can absorb and use this part of its anatomy to conduct substrates up into the canopy and from the canopy down into the roots. Now let's go to the other end of the greenhouse and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. We are on the back side of the greenhouse. We have a raised grade hill here beside us that is washing the water against the side of the greenhouse, and you can see the evidence of that is right here where it started to pile up against. You see it's nice and loose, and this is where there's some silt start to build up. And what we're going to do is take our air tool and we're going to make a trench along the edge here all the way over to the other end, and we're going to show you where it terminates and how it's affected the health of a major white oak tree down at the other end. So let's go down there and see. We have begun our last phase of rainscaping around this greenhouse structure right here, and as you can see, the water comes around the corner, and our funnel to catch it isn't quite big enough, so you can see where the water has come out of the trench along the door. It's washing a silt up against the edge of the greenhouse. We've been instructed to eliminate that, so what we're going to do is widen this out, deepen it to where the water comes in here and goes down the hill, and as it begins to diffuse out, we have turned it down the hill to this major white oak tree over my shoulder. You're going to see it. Come follow me this way. This major white oak tree that you see right here, and what happened is a lot of this water washed silt up against it, and the bleeding lesions that have affected many of the white oak, especially white oak trees in the eastern United States, is precursor symptoms to other diseases that are brought in by the insects. But this is what I submit to you could be one of the initial causes. You can see where we have done the root collar excavation. We have eliminated the bark. We still have a little bit of bleeding. We have a special chemical treatment. That's a subject for another video, but this is the termination of the rainscaping, where we have guided water into this area. We've got this tree, and we've got 3 or 4 other trees that are all being affected by this water coming off the hill and being directed around the structure that you see up there as the greenhouse. It's rainscaping. It's a part of smart landscape care, and this is cheap to keep tree protection actions, because it helps you save money by eliminating the disease problems that you see here, by putting water in the areas where they can do the most good, especially in areas where you don't have rains as frequently as we do here. And it's a part of our new view of home ecology, KNEW, new view. Smart landscape care is new view because we know it works. It's been tested, it's been proven, and there is no guesswork involved in what we're doing here. So use smart landscape care to save you money and to create the kind of ecosystem that you want to live in, to support you and improve your quality of life.